change your mind, if you change your mind.
If you want to know why I think that this episode is better than the Peridot episode, mainly Back to the Kindergarten, is mainly of how they took Lapis's character a lot more seriously when it comes to her personality, her trauma, and the fact that even in this episode can't go back, she still can't be able to move forward. Which really sums up a lot that even when she over-exaggerated about the diamonds coming to Earth by starting a war or a battle, she still is concerned that due to Steven's dreams, she still prevents herself from getting into another war. After Leonardo took Steven to his telescope to look at the moon, he told him about a barn located on the moon, which gave Steven the idea that Lapis is living on the moon rather than going farther away from the diamonds. And even though I worded that incorrectly in the Ways in the Barn review, but to tell you the truth, that just sums up a lot that these episodes surprise me once I get to them. Every time I look at Lapis in this episode, with her living on the moon and not farther away from her friends, just to avoid the diamonds, to tell you the truth, it kind of sums up that she's improving on being a healthier character, but keep in mind, her trauma is still getting the better of her, considering that the diamonds are that dangerous. And even though that, regardless if you can think that what Lapis did by abandoning Peridot wasn't nice, you can still understand that she just doesn't have a choice and she wants to protect herself, with her being different than Steven's friends. The song That Distant Shore, which is a really good song, showcases of how much Lapis really misses being with her friends, even though that she isn't like them. And knowing full well that she had the least interactions when it comes to the crystal gems, which I mostly wanted more of, you have to admit that they really wanted Lapis to be in the shadows for the most. Because for me personally, this episode really improved her character to the point that it's just difficult for her to actually fit in like the other crystal gems due to her being trapped into a meal, and since that she stated that she put herself into a meal metaphorically, she couldn't be able to control herself on making the right decisions with other people, but at the same time, doing the alternative is still a difficult choice to avoid. Believe me, every time that Lapis gets development in this episode, especially her future episodes, made me convinced that this really capitalizes her character in general, and the song that she sung sums up a lot that she wants to improve. It's just that with the time skip that Future had, well, mainly the movie had since it came out before Future, years is the amount of time that she needed in order to improve herself in Future. And after watching Future before watching the episodes from the earlier seasons, mainly clips, it really made me feel like that my perspective towards Lapis is mainly the fact that I like characters in blue and when they're happy and aggressive in a way that they wouldn't in the Oreo series. I really had so much to think of whenever I look at Lapis for the first time in 2020. I don't know if it's either the fact that the pandemic put me into a physical state of trying to find new happiness, but Lapis is literally the only character that really made me feel somewhat not blue. Since this episode is the prologue of a single pair of walls when it comes to Steven's dream, believe me when I say this, is that I'm still not revisiting a single Parallels, but judging of how it leads to the big reveal, it's literally impossible for how every character's perspective have changed to the point that the moment when Steven saw a shadow of Paul, which is the same Paul that Greg have told stories to him in the past, even though that Steven can't imagine what the Paul is like because of the shadow itself, it still shows that Steven is way ahead when it comes to thinking about what is happening right in front of him, especially in his dreams. In my outro of this review, I am going to include the single parallels that I reviewed 3 years ago. Mainly the fact that my opinions still stay the same, and when it comes to the episode after that, I am looking forward to when it comes to seeing more of the point of view of Paul. Believe me when I say this, the more I look into these episodes when it comes to this second binge watch, the more I see, and I'm honestly looking forward to see more of that after going through these season 5 episodes. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'm giving this episode a 9 out of 10.